Okay. Good morning to all of you. Let's
Good morning.
start with
Good
the
morning, sir.
next content of our fifth unit. So today we'll discuss about the different sensors being available for the for utilization in case of the robotics for the robot, and these are the various sensor which are being available for other different uses also. So we'll try to discuss the other uses also and uses related with the robot also regarding the different kind of sensors. So sensor, all of you must be knowing, these are the kind of devices, okay, which are being used for the purpose of sensing, in the sense, what you can say, to measure the some physical properties of the environment. Now, in case of the environment, there are the various physical properties are used to be there, like temperature, pressure, luminance of the light, touch, resistance, weight, size, etc., etc. So as a human being, we can easily measure this kind of things, physical properties of the environment, because by nature we have all this kind of capability. But in case of the robots, we have to put all these capabilities inside the robot through this kind of devices like the sensors. Okay, and within a sensors also there is a one most important component used to be there, which is being referred as a transducer. Okay, and that transducer is for the purpose of converting the one type of energy into the other. So our mic, okay, mic is also having the transducer present inside that, as well as all of you are using the microphones. So microphones are also having the transducer inside that microphone. Here I have mentioned. So what actually that transducer does? So it used to transfer or convert. Here general thing I have mentioned. Transducer used to convert the one type of energy to the another. So what kind of energy? One kind of energy, in the sense the acoustic energy, into the electrical impulses. Acoustic energy, in the sense, do the human being release the acoustic energy? Okay, in the physics you must have studied. What do you mean by the acoustic energy? Yes, here I have mentioned the microphone is also the transducer that convert the acoustic energy into the electric impulses. Okay, when we speak, when we speak, one kind of energy is get released. Okay, so that is related with the sound, and so acoustic energy is nothing but the related with the sound. Okay, so when we speak, that acoustic energy we release, it has to be converted into the other form, so that it can be heard by somebody else. Understood? So this kind of transducer being utilized inside the sensors, different kind of sensors. Okay, understood the point? Understood this transducer? What exactly it is? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So whatever mic we use in the programs or microphone that you are using, it is also having the this kind of transducers used to be there, and different kind of transducer being utilized to convert the one form of energy into the another. And so this kind of transducer used to be there in the different kind of sensors. Okay, so why we are using the sensors in case of the robotics? So main reason behind that is nothing but to estimate or to know the what is the actual condition of the robot, what is the situation of the robot, as well as with the help of the sensor we can know the what is the situation or condition of the environment. So utilizing the sensor, we can convey the information to the robot about the environment, and utilizing the sensor also we can perform some action through the robot within a environmental. So that is the reason it is very useful sensors instead of the robotics. So here I mentioned the robotic sensor are used to estimate the robot condition and the environment. So these signals are passed to the controller to enable the appropriate behavior. So when uh, through the sensor take the information from the environment, and that information is passed to the controller of the robot. And utilizing that information which is passed to the robot through the sensor, the robot perform its behavior of the particular activity. Okay. So in short, we can say the sensors in case of the robots are just like performing the function like the human sensor organs. Just like the humans are having the different sensory organs like eyes, ears, nose, this kind of sensory organs. So for the robots, we need to utilize this kind of different sensors. Okay. So in here I have mentioned the robot requires the extensive information about their environment in order to function effectively. So main thing, if you want our robot to be perform very well according to the expectation of the user, then for that the very what we can say, the information that need to be passed to the robot also need to be the extensive, correct. Okay, large amount of information need to be passed to the robot, and for that purpose sensors help can be taken and sensors are being utilized. So likewise there are the different kind of sensors are available, like sensors are available related with the to know about whether the some object is present or not. Regarding that, there are the simple touch sensors are available in the market, then complex touch sensors are available. So simple touch sensor can just give you the idea whether object is present or absent, but complex touch sensor can give you the idea about the size, shape, and the hardness of the object also. Then simple force sensors are there, which can measure the force along the single axis, as well as we have the complex force sensors which can measure the force along the now this is not the single, this is a multiple. Okay, here you must have the multiple axis. Okay, multiple axis. So complex force sensor can measure the force along the multiple axis. Multiple axis in the sense what, if you want to know the difference between the simple force and the complex force. Now suppose uh, this is the table. Okay, and if you are trying to move this table with single hand, if you are trying to move this table with the single hand, then this being considered as a force along the single axis, for example. But if you try to move this table with more than one hand by more than one people from different direction, then this is considered as a complex force. So measuring the force along the multiple axis. Okay, got the difference between the simple force and the complex force? Yes. Then likewise we have the simple vision sensors are also there. Simple vision sensors are also there, which are being for the purpose of detecting the edges, holes, corners of different kind of objects. Then we have the object proximity sensors, which is being for the purpose of detecting the presence or absence of the object, color of the object, distance between the object that can be determined with the help of these object proximity sensors. Then we have the sensors related to the chemicals also, which gives idea about the presence or absence of the chemicals, identity of the chemicals, strength of the chemicals, like the concentration of the chemicals, etc., etc. Related with the light also, related with the determination of presence of the light, we have the light sensor, which can also give you the idea about the frequency of the light, intensity of the light, etc., etc. Similar to the light, we also have the different kind of sound sensor which can give idea about the presence of the sound frequency and the intensity of the sound. So these are the general kind of sensors which are being available. Okay, just overview we have just discussed regarding that. Now, likewise, there are the different 4 to 5 important sensors are being utilized in case of the robots. Okay, and which are being utilized in the different situation of our life also, in the home also, in the cars also, in the aircraft also, in the ships also. Okay, so same kind of sensors are being also utilized in case of the robots also, but their functionality is slightly different according to the functionality of the robot. So one of that is the contact sensor. Okay, so this is the considered one of the most important sensor in the field of the robotics. Now, for the purpose of contact sensor to be get activate, or for the purpose of contact sensor to be get trigger, it is required that some physical contact should happen with that particular object. Then the contact sensor get trigger. If you want to see the, if you want the example, now our home or home bell is used to there. आपल्या घरामध्ये बेल असते बघा, बरोबर? Yes, our home used to be a
Yes,
bell. When you press the button, then that bell automatically start ringing. Correct. So that kind of
yes,
things
sir.
also comes under the category of the contact sensor. Means until you don't touch that particular object, that contact sensor will never get trigger. That is the reason I have mentioned there is a need of the physical contact regarding the other objects to trigger some kind of event. So as soon as you touch with that button, switch, etc., then certain sound we can hear or ringing can be start. So there are the different kind of contact sensor are there, like there is a touch contact sensor, push button, switch, etc., etc. Okay, so within the contact sensors also, within the contact sensors also there are the two types of contact sensor, like there is a bumper contact sensor and the tactile contact sensor. Okay, now if you want to see the another most popular utilization of contact sensor, these are being utilized in the cars. Can anybody tell me how the contact sensors are being utilized in the car? Yes, yes. How the contact sensor being utilized in the cars? I told you what exactly is the contact sensor. When the contact sensor get activated, until the object until the object when there is a certain contact with the object, the contact sensor get activate. Okay, and its result can be a ringing of sound, its result can be a taking the turn, its result can be a reversing, its result can be a switching on the LED light, etc., etc., anything. So in the cars, you must have also seen the utilization of the contact sensor key. If your car is having the contact sensor, if somebody unknown person touches your car, or if any animal also will try to touch or contact with your car, automatically one siren sound start. Have you seen this kind of experience?
Yes, sir.
बरोबर, की कोणीतरी कारच्या जवळ, की हे तुम्ही टू व्हीलरला सुद्धा आपण हे दिस काइंड ऑफ कॉन्टॅक्ट सेन्सर कॅन बी गेट फिटेड. So as soon as somebody touch with your car, they automatically the ringing sound start there, so that its use can be it can protect your car or the vehicle from the theft also. Is it right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this kind of contact sensor we can fit to the your home door also, so that if somebody try to open your door, okay, if you are outside the home, and if somebody try to open door of your home, then your neighbors can be get awake by this kind of sound. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So there are the various kind of contact sensor used to be there in the market. Okay. So there are the two types like the bumper and the tactile sensor. So there is a exact difference between these two sensor. So bumper, these are the contact sensor which are used to determine or detect whether they are touching anything. The result of this is yes or no. So bumper sensor just give you the idea. What idea is the touching happening or not? It just detect what? Whether they are touching some object or not. Only that kind of idea in the form of the yes or no, it is given by the bumper contact sensor. So bumper contact sensor can't give you the information about the intensity of hardness of the contact. म्हणजे काय की if suppose if the car is stucking with this particular wall, if there is a car stucking with this particular wall, then how hard it is touching this wall, then that hardness is not that result of the hardness, how hard it is touching that wall is not given by the bumper sensor. Bumper sensor will give you the idea about what it is touching. अंडरस्टूड. मग किती जोराने त्याची कारची धडक त्या भिंतीला होत आहे, दॅट आयडिया विल नॉट बी गिवन बाय द बंपर सेन्सर. दॅट आयडिया विल बी गिवन बाय whom? Tactile sensor. So here I have mentioned tactile sensor. This can give the information about the intensity of hardness of contact as well as exact direction and relative movement of the contact also. Okay. So tell me, what is the difference between the bumper sensor and the tactile sensor? Yes. What is the difference? Yes, what is the difference? What the bumper contact sensor gives you? How it function? Bumper contact sensor. What information it gives? Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So what information bumper contact sensor gives?
It gives information about touching anything.
Contact
To
sensors.
touch some, if touching is happening or not, that information only given by the bumper contact. And tactile contact sensors,
Intensity of hardness.
की जर टच होत आहे तर त्या टचिंगची इंटेन्सिटी काय, हाऊ हार्ड इट इज टचिंग टू समथिंग. अंडरस्टूड. And exact direction, movement, etc. This kind of information is given by the tactile sensor. So basically, the use of this kind of sensors in case of the robot is for the purpose of obstacle avoidance. For the purpose of obstacle avoidance, the contact sensors are utilized in case of the robots. Okay. And when when they hit an obstacle, it trigger the robot to perform the task. Okay. When touching is happen, then that touching activate the robot to perform some particular task. Now task can be anything. So driverless car, to the driverless car also we can call it as a one kind of machine, robotic machine. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So in the driverless car, this kind of sensors are very much useful. Okay. When there is a touching, when the car get touch with something, or in case of the parking sensors also, this kind of contact sensor can be very useful. So you must have observed the parking sensors in the cars also. As soon as our car reaches to as soon as our car is going to be touched to the something, automatically in our car sound start ringing, some siren ringing start. So in the automatic in case of the driverless car, reversing operation can happen automatically if car is about to touch something. Turning can also be possible. Turning information can also be possible with the help of the contact sensor. When the robot hit to some obstacle or the object at or about to hit, then switching off the LED or stopping of the car, these kind of things can be possible with the help of the contact sensors. And when they get activate, when the particular object get hit with the certain things, object get hit with that particular sensors. Okay, so that is the one kind of sensor which is being mostly utilized in case of the robotics and the robot. Now mostly another most popular is the inertial sensors. Okay, what inertial sensors? Now these inertial sensors are based on the laws of the inertia that you must have studied in the physics also. Now what this inertial sensor and what this actually how actually it works? Okay, so here I have mentioned the inertial sensors are based on the laws of the inertia, where object continue in its existing state unless and until state of the object is changed by some external force. Now everybody of you are having the inertial sensor with you at this correct moment. What I'm saying, everybody of you are having the inertial sensor with you right now. Okay, because every smartphones are nowadays comes with the inertial sensors. What every smartphone comes along with the inertial sensor. Now in case of your smartphone, you must have observed, okay, you must have observed, when you are watching some video on the smartphone, okay, in vertical direction, as soon as you move your smartphone in horizontal direction like this, your video resolution change automatically and you can see the full screen video. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so the main reason behind that is nothing but the inertial sensor which are present in the smartphone, and the definition says the sum. Say definition saying is the same thing that I'm telling you. Inertial sensor are based on the laws of the inertia, where the object continue in its existing state. I'm telling you the example of mobile as an object continue its existing state unless and until the state of the object is changed by some external force. So this vertical mobile phone, as soon as you move that vertical mobile phone onto the horizontal, then we are applying the some external force here. Is it like that? Yes or no? Yes. When your
Yes,
vertical
sir.
mobile, you are moving it as a horizontal way. This is nothing but the applying some external force. Correct or not?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So same thing I have mentioned, the inertial sensor are based on the laws of the inertia, where object continue its existing state until the state of the object is changed by some external force. And this is being also part of what you can say when you ask your mobile for the purpose of some navigation purpose. Okay, when you are utilize the mobile for the purpose of some, when you set the mobile to go to the particular location. Okay, when you utilize the GPS, so when you utilize the GPS, there is a utilization of the inertial sensor in case of our mobile, because from this example, what we can conclude, these sensors are basically used to detect and reflect the change in the motion of the object. When your mobile is this direct in this vertical way, you change it is in this way, you are change there is a change in the motion of the object, and that change is detected by with the help of which sensors? Inertial sensors. Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
So that is the, in conclusion, I have mentioned these sensors are basically used to detect and reflect the change in the motion of the object. So when you utilize the GPS, when you utilize the GPS to reach to some location, automatically it goes on showing you the direction. Okay, yes or no? Automatically it shows you the route from one direction to the other direction. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So how it does? It does by identifying the position of the object. How? In the car's GPS also, there is utilization of the inertial sensor. So what exactly it does? Inertial sensor used to provide the information about the position of the object they are attached to. So the way your object moves, okay, the way your object moves, the capturing the motion of your object, for that purpose there is utilization of the inertial sensor. So if it is fitted to the human being also, the motion of the human being also can capture with the help of the inertial sensor. So inertial sensors are also used to track the human motion. Okay, the blind person असतात बघा, blind persons, तर त्यांच्यामध्ये सुद्धा आपण inertial sensor we can fit and we can track the motion of that blind person if they are going outside the home. Is it possible? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this particular sensor, as I am saying, it is utilized for the purpose of capturing the motion of the object, and accordingly we can get the locations with the help of the GPS. The way our object goes on moving from one location to the another location, and inertial sensor used to detect all these kind of things. So there are the two important components used to be there in the inertial sensor. One is the accelerometer. One component is the accelerometer, which measure the acceleration of the object. Acceleration of the object in the sense speed of the object. Okay, one component is accelerometer which measure what? Speed of the object. बरोबर ना? तुम्ही GPS वर लोकेशन सेट केली तर ऑटोमॅटिकली तुमचं डिस्टन्स, जर तुम्ही राईट डायरेक्शनने जात असाल तर डिस्टन्स तुमचं ऑटोमॅटिकली कमी कमी होत जातं. Am I right or not? Yes.
Yes, sir.
बरोबर ना? कारण हे डिटेक्ट करण्याचं काम कोण करतं? इनर्शियल सेन्सर मधला कुठला कंपोनंट? ऍक्सेलरोमीटर, which measure the speed of the object. Okay, and another important component is there, that is the gyroscope, which measure the angular velocity or the rate of change of sensor orientation. तर मग सपोज आता तुम्हाला काय करायचंय की तुम्ही ह्या लोकेशनला आहात आणि तुम्हाला ह्या लोकेशनला जायचंय. कुठं? या, आय होप you can observe this. You are at this location and you have to go to this location. Okay, and your GPS has shown you the direction like this. Okay, that you can follow this direction to reach to की ह्या गावाला तुम्हाला जायचंय. This village you have to reach from this village. बरोबर? तुम्ही GPS वर लोकेशन सेट केली, इट गोज ऑन शोइंग दिस डायरेक्शन. पण काहीतरी प्रॉब्लेम झाला, समवेअर समथिंग प्रॉब्लेम ऑकर्स, तुम्ही ह्या डायरेक्शनला न जाता तुम्ही ही डायरेक्शन घेतली. काय? Instead of going in this direction, you goes on this direction. Then automatically your GPS gives you the notification that you are going in the wrong direction. Your map gives you the notification that you are going the wrong direction. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
How this happen? This is happen with the help of the gyroscope. Because gyroscope determine what? Gyroscope determine the orientation. Orientation in the sense, what do you mean by the orientation? The direction in which you are moving, the direction in which the object is moving, that is the referred as a orientation. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So with the help of these two components, our inertial sensors are working, and this kind of inertial sensor can be utilized in the robots also. Okay. Now, so next important we have, which also number of times every day we are experiencing this kind of sensors, that is the infrared sensors. What? Infrared sensor. So infrared sensor utilizes the infrared light to sense the object in front of them and determine their distance. So can you tell me where we are having the infrared sensors in our everyday utilization? Yes. Mhm. Which is being utilized mostly in this lockdown period also.
टेम्परेचर मेजर करत नाही का सर आपण?
Infrared sensor नाही.
रिमोट मध्ये यूज करतो सर.
व्हेरी गुड. रिमोट मध्ये तुमच्या कोणतं सेन्सर असतं? इन्फ्रारेड सेन्सर.
इन्फ्रारेड सेन्सर.
Understood. That's here I have mentioned infrared sensor uses the infrared light to sense the object in front of them and gauge their distance, measure their distance. So these infrared sensors commonly have the two black circles or the components which are utilized, which are being considered as a two components being there in the infrared sensor, which are being referred as a emitter and the detector. What? Emitter and the detector. Okay. So a pulse of the infrared light is emitted from the emitter and spread out in the large arc. If no object is detected, then infrared light continue forever and no reading is recorded. Barabar. So when you are having your TV like this, okay, and their set top box, and you can use to operate that from this distance. Okay. So this is your remote, for example. So this is your remote is being considered as the emitter here, and this remote is having the two components, emitter and the detector. Okay. So as soon as you press some button, okay, all of you are there. So we are discussing the remote control with its infrared sensor and the two important components that are the emitter and the detector. So this remote control with the infrared sensor is having the two components. One is the emitter and the another is the detector. So as soon as you press the button by keeping that remote control in front of your set-top box, the infrared light get emitted. So as soon as you detect some object here as a, for example, set-top box, then from that the infrared light get reflected back. Okay. And it is detected by another component of remote control, that is which? Detector. Understood. And in this way, signal passing carries on. Okay. In this way, the signal passing carries on. Okay. So if the object is here, I have mentioned, if the object is nearby, then the infrared light will be reflected and some of it will be hit the detector. So this particular part that I have just shown you, it forms a simple triangle between the objects like set-top box, your emitter and the detector. So detector is able to detect the angle that infrared light are back, and thus it can determine the distance to the object. So basically in case of the robot, the infrared sensor are used to determine the distance to the different kind of objects. So here we have discussed the utilization of the infrared sensor in case of the remote control and with the set-top box, etc., etc. So similarly, in case of the robot, these infrared sensors are utilized for the purpose of detecting the distance. So these infrared sensors are also having some limitations that you must have experienced also. It has a quite small range. Yes or no? जर तुम्ही टीव्हीचा रिमोट कंट्रोल थोडा लांब डिस्टन्स वरून ऑपरेट करण्याचा प्रयत्न केला तर चॅनल चेंज होतात का बघा. यू मस्ट हॅव एक्सपिरियन्स दिस थिंग्स. होतात का चेंज चॅनल्स? Yes. No. So that is the here I have mentioned it has quite small range and it cannot penetrate the object or the obstacle also. what it cannot penetrate the object or the, तर तुम्ही रिमोटच्या समोर असा हात जरी ठेवला आणि चॅनल चेंज करण्याचा प्रयत्न केला तरी सुद्धा चॅनल चेंज होत नाही. करेक्ट or not?
Yes, sir.
So these are the different kind of limitations are also there in case of the infrared sensors. Let's see the another next important ones which related with some background already yesterday we have discussed. That is the sonar. So it stands for the sound navigation and the ranging. Okay, sound navigation and the ranging. So this device is also being utilized for the detection of the object or the obstacle as well as to determine the distance also. So here I have mentioned it is a technical devices which is used for the sound propagation usually under the water to navigate, communicate with the other objects and detect the objects under the water or on the surface of the water also. Okay. So it consists of the, so this sonar device consists of the also the two components in that, that is one is the active sonar component and another is the passive sonar component. So how actually it perform its activity? So the active sonar emit the pulses of the sound. What it emit the pulses of the sound, as well as it is capable to listening the echoes of the sound also. Okay, that is the active sonar component of the sonar device. And passive sonar, which is essentially listening for the sound made by the vessels. Vessels means what? Yes, vessels. वेसल्स मराठीमध्ये वेसल्सला आपण भांडे म्हणतो, भांडे. पण इथं भांडेचा असा आवाज नाही, मिनिंग नाही. आपण डोंट टेक द मिनिंग ऑफ लाईक दिस. This word is taken here because one vessel touch with another vessel, sound generates. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
तर पॅसिव्ह सोनारचं वर्क काय आहे की इट कॅन लिसन sound generated by if the two objects hit with each other, then with the help of the passive sonar this sound can be listened. So just I said basically in case of the ships, if some object hit with the ship, then that also get easily detected with the help of the passive sonar. Okay, and so here one, if you can see these two components, one is used to emit the pulses of sound, whether another component can is responsible for listening for the sound. Understood? So with the help of these two components, the sonar device actually works. Okay, so there is a utilization of the acoustic frequency. As I told you, acoustic in this is related with the sound. Okay, so in case of the sonar device, acoustic frequencies are used in the sonar system, where that acoustic frequency can be ranged from the low, that low acoustic frequency is referred as the infrasonic, where the acoustic frequency can be very high. If the acoustic frequency is very high, that is considered as a ultrasonic. Okay, now this is the utilization of the sonar in case of the ship or the dock, etc., etc. But now what we have to discuss, how this sonar works in case of the robotics or in case of the robot. Now all of you know the robot is having the microcontroller with them. A number of times I told you the difference between the microcontroller and the microprocessor. Okay, robot is having the microcontroller with them, and this microcontroller gives instruction to the sonar. What this microcontroller give instruction sonar to go in the sense to activate. Okay, and when the microcontroller instructs the sonar to go or to activate, the sonar device release the inaudible sound. Inaudible means this sound cannot be heard. This sound cannot be heard. So the sonar release the sound. Okay, and after passing some time, the sonar also responsible for listening to the echoes also. Returning sound can also be heard by the sonar. So when the echo can be heard, yes, when the echo can be heard, when this release sound will hit with some object or the obstacle. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
And this echo can be listened by sonar. Okay, and then next what happened, let's see. So the sonar then instantly send a voltage signal to the microcontroller. So after here, after detection of the echo is done by the sonar, then this sonar send the signal to whom? Microcontroller. Okay, microcontroller is present in the robot. So with the help of that signal, the robot maintain the track of the time which passes, and it compute the distance of the object detector from the robot. म्हणजे जर इथून साऊंड रिलीज झाला, ओके, हा साऊंड कुठेतरी जर ऑब्जेक्ट कुठेतरी असेल तर त्याला हिट होणार, हिट झाल्यानंतर एको विल बी रिटर्न बॅक, अंडरस्टूड. मग हा साऊंड रिलीज झाल्यानंतर एको येईपर्यंत किती टाइम पास झाला, हाऊ मच टाइम हॅज पास फ्रॉम रिलीजिंग ऑफ द साऊंड up till the echo coming back to the robot. So from that time passing of the time, the distance of the object can be measured, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So that purpose, in this way, in case of the robots, the sonar device get utilized. Okay, now next importantly, that is the radar we have. Now radar is also like the sonar only, but there is an exact difference between the radar and the sonar, where the sonar utilizes the sound waves, where in case of the radar, you can see it stands for the radio detecting and the ranging. So radar stands for the radio detecting and the ranging system. So it, as compared with the sonar system, radar system utilizes the radio waves, where the sonar system utilizes the acoustic waves or the sound waves. Okay, so here I have mentioned it is basically a, here I have shown you the radar system also for your understanding purpose. So it is basically an electromagnetic system used to detect the location and distance of an object from the point where the radar is placed. So radio waves can be released from this radar, and from these the radar can determine certain location and distance of the object which might be present anywhere in the environment, okay. Now radar is utilized in every kind of environment. Okay, radar is utilized for in the air, it is can be utilized on the land, it can be utilized under the water, etc, etc. Anywhere can be, the radar can be utilized. Okay, so it works by radiating the radio wave energy into the space also, and monitoring the echoes or the reflected signal from the object. So its working style is just like the sonar. It releases the radiates the energy, okay, radio waves. If that radio waves hit some object, then the echo can come back, and from that the radar can determine the location and detection of the object. So operating frequency of radar is very much high as compared with the sonar. Okay, that's why it is most popular as compared with the sonar. So it operates in the ultra high frequency. It operates in the ultra high and the microwave range of the 300 megahertz to the 3 gigahertz. Okay, so that is the ultra high frequency where radar can be utilized for the detection and location of the, for detecting and the locating the objects. So there are the various famous utilization of the or applications of the radars are there. Now question mostly being asked on the radar, explain the radar system with the various kind of its application. So most popularly radar being utilized in the militaries. Now tell me, in the military, how the radar can be a mostly useful? You explain me. Yes. Radar in case of the military. Yes. How the radar can be utilized in the military? I told you the what exactly radar is, for what purpose it is utilized. It's a, high frequency, etc., etc. Then tell me how it can be utilized in the military. Yes.
So
Come in the range. Hmm. Shantanu, Saibaz. Hmm. Speak up quickly. How the radar can be useful for the military purpose. Yes.
so searching something, tracking, and give directions.
Tracking to whom? Searching whom? Detecting whom? If some vehicles coming or crossing the border from another country, that can also be detected with the help of the radars in case of the army border protection. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So likewise, in the just like I said, in case of the on the ground army border protection, radar can be utilized. Here I have mentioned the radar electromagnetic sensor are used for detecting, locating, tracking, recognizing the objects of various kind at the considerable distance. So not to detect just the vehicle on the ground, but radar can be also utilized in the navy also, on the ground also, as well as in the air defense also. Understood. So in the on the water also, we can have the radar where it can determine if somebody other's country's ship is coming in our country, then that can be also detected by the radar. On the ground, different vehicles which are running on the ground, if that vehicles of other country, opponent country, uh, that kind of things can also be detected by the radar. If somebody is trying to cross the border, that kind of things can also be detected with the help of the radar. In the air defense also, radar can be utilized. If somebody another's airplane is crossing their aerial border and try to come in our country, this kind of things also detected by the radar. So here I have mentioned they are used for the detecting, tracking, surveillance purpose. Also weapon control and missile guiding also can be done with the help of the radar. जर कुठल्या तरी एका लोकेशनला मिसाईल आपल्याला लॉन्च करायचं असेल, इफ म्हणजे आपलं इफ यू वॉन्ट टू explore the missile at certain location, then that direction, guiding the direction can also be done with the help of the radar system. Okay, so missile guidance can be done with the help of the radar system. Then law enforcement. Law enforcement म्हणजे काय, this can be utilized by the police also, specifically traffic police. So with the help of the radar, it is possible to measure the speed of the vehicle. What in the US, UK, you must have seen in the Hollywood movies also. If the bike is moving on the road very fastly, automatically its speed get detected by the traffic police, and at that instant only traffic police start following that vehicle. Yes or no? Yes. Automatic speed
Yes,
detection.
sir.
Automatic speed detection can be done with the help of the radar. So speed traffic management can be done with the help of the radar. That's why it is being mentioned for the law enforcement. Here I have mentioned. due to bad weather condition, when the satellite is unable to get clear image of the traffic barricades, the radar is used to get the desired result. Then next we have the radar system can be utilized in the space also. Switch off the mic. Whose mic is on?
मोबाईल जर पडला
Okay, radar. This technology can be utilized in the space also. Okay, so radar used to track the and detect the satellites and the spacecraft. Spacecraft means what? अंतराळयान. बरोबर. आपण चंद्रयान 2 मोहीम चंद्रयान 2 आपण space we have sent that spacecraft in the moon. तर मग ज्यावेळेस त्याची मुवमेंट होत होते, हाऊ लॉंग इट इज ट्रॅव्हलिंग, व्हॉट इज द डिस्टन्स, एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा, व्हॉट इज एक्झॅक्ट इट्स पोझिशन, दिस ऑल द काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स, where exactly satellite is, what is its location, these all the kind of things can be detected or tracked with the help of the radars. Okay, so here also I have mentioned they are used for the safely landing and docking for the spacecraft च्या लँडिंग साठी सुद्धा radar can be utilized, whether the spacecraft should land on whether spacecraft should be land on the space or not, how much distance has remained between the spacecraft and the space. These all the kind of things can be detected with the help of the radar system. Okay, now also it is being utilized in the aircraft navigation also. Airplane ला दिशा निर्देशन करण्यासाठी सुद्धा there is a utilization of the radar system. So ground mapping radars and weather avoidance radars are used in the aircraft to navigate it properly. To show the direction to the airplanes and the planes, there is a utilization of the radar system. So this technology enables the aircraft to ensure the location of the obstacle which can be threat to the flight plane. Here I wish to mention the plane. Okay. So if any obstacle is there in front of the plane, that can be easily detected with the help of the radar system. And as I said, radar being not just utilized on the ground, it is utilized on the water and air also. So it is here use of the radar in the ships also can be done. Okay, so ships are guided through the high resolution radar situated on the shore. Source म्हणजे समुद्राच्या किनाऱ्यावर आपण radar launch install करू शकतो. We can have the radar system on the edge of the sea. Shore in the sense edge, kinara. Okay. And because of the poor visibility in the weather condition, radar provides you the safety and the warning threats. जर समुद्रामध्ये भयंकर आपण काय म्हणतो त्याला टाइड अँड द एब, भरती ओटी, तर हे this early detection of these things can be done with the help of the radar system. तुम्ही वेदर कंडिशन रिपोर्ट बघत असताल बघा टीव्हीवर, ते सांगतात की उद्या समुद्रामध्ये खूप मोठ्या लाटा येण्याची शक्यता आहे. दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स आर माइट हॅपन इन द फ्युचर. तर ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टी कशाच्या आधारे डिटेक्ट केल्या जातात? थ्रू द radar system which is being situated near the sea. Understood? So this kind of system can be utilized, can be helpful for the guiding the ships also. Okay, and in case of the ships, this radar system can be utilized to determine the any obstacle in front of the ship also. Here I mentioned these ships often use this technology to measure the proximity of the other ships. Jar this is considered this as a one ship, okay, and there is another ship, तर ह्या दोन शिप मध्ये किती डिस्टन्स आहे? This kind of detection can also be done with the help of the radars. So here I mentioned to measure the proximity of the other ship. Proximity म्हणजे काय? जर ह्या शिप आणि ह्या शिप मध्ये किती अंतर आहे? Understood? How much they are close to each other. These things can be easily detected with the help of the radars. Likewise, there are the various other utilization of the radars applications are there. Most importantly, we have covered, which will be helpful for you in the exam. Understood all of you?
Yes, sir.
So that's it from the today's session. Remaining session will be covered next time. Thank you all of you.
Thank you, sir.